Welcome to the first episode of AUO Podcast, or Anime Under Observation Podcast. To all of my fate fans out there, y'all know what we're talking about. AUO, the boy Gilgamesh. Yes. And for our first episode, we have decided to essentially talk about the first episode of ReZero's Director's Cut, just to go online with the eventual release of Season 2, which, unfortunately, as of this recording, has been delayed indefinitely because of the pandemic that we are all experiencing. So, why don't you guys want to introduce yourselves? I am the guy who talks the most, Melem. What about you guys? Yeah, say your shit. Yeah.
So I'm Zoe. Apparently, an elephant.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be completely honest here. Before watching the first episode, I wasn't a fan. I mean, I watched ReZero when it was first airing weekly. I remember liking the first few arcs, but as it went along, the fans got louder and louder. Jesus Christ! You're gonna stop with this already.
Myself.
I'm not gonna. I'm just giving a prelude to anyone. Yeah, just his opinions on such a character. Anyway, continue, please.
So yeah, when it was airing, and the fans were going basically ballistic over Rem, I started hating the show. I was more from the middle guy. So I should probably preview how I feel about this first episode. No Rem, 100% Emilia.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Rio, tell your whatever.
Yeah, okay, so I'm Rio. I do the technical stuff unlike these two other bastards. So I'm actually handling all the freaking technical, I don't know, fucking all that stuff. So yeah, Rio Futaba. Yeah, I like that character. Anyway, full disclosure as well. I was also along with the ride to watch the beginning of the show, and I'd like to think that at some point in my life I was normie trash, but then as time went on, just rewatching it about 30 minutes ago, I started to realize the problems, which is that Emilia is definitely a much better girl. This is gonna piss so many people off.
Oh my god, this podcast are starting out. Oh my god. Okay.
Now I thought we were gonna convert you eventually, not this early.
No, I was already convinced. I just rewatched it 30 minutes ago, and I'll just get to the point. I think Emilia, at least from the first episode, you can already see that she doesn't deserve half the shit people throw at her, because she's I don't know, she seems like a reasonable person. She just wants to get her shit done, and everything else are conspiring around her to fuck that up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So those are your conceptions of the show, right?
Yeah, but I will say though that before, a couple years back, I did like Rem, but I feel like I've converted just now, literally just now.
Oh man,
this is fucking Easter, so I'm coming around to
it's your second coming, your resurrection.
You finally resurrected into the light, my man.
I feel like I'm the one out here since you guys watched while it was airing, and I just watched it maybe a year or so ago when everything was completed, and there was already a season 2 announcement. So yeah, personally, I'm also all three of us teams are all fans of Emilia. Damn.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay. So here's the thing. I like Emilia for the simple fact that it seems to me that she just had a natural chemistry with Subaru. All of Subaru's shticks just bounce off Emilia's overly serious, that super righteous warrior type that she seems to portray. That's just the inkling that I get. Every shtick that Subaru has, Emilia just gets the shit and just throws it back at him, and it's just 10 times more funny that way. And I just
You like
really
the straight man.
Yeah, if you think about it, they have a funny guy, straight man dynamic going on in
Yeah.
the first
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, it's honestly perfect. So, well, okay. So it seems like those are our conceptions about it. So what do you guys like expect for the director's cut to change or anything? Because personally, like from what I've read, the director's cut doesn't necessarily like change anything drastic except for the last episode. It's kind of like they edit some of the scenes, but they don't necessarily edit the meaning of those scenes. Maybe like they make the battle scenes a bit prettier or they like give slightly more dialogue, but as far as I know, though obviously we're gonna learn like later on, there isn't really a major change. I mean, what about you guys? Have you felt that there's like a major change to the series already?
I haven't noticed anything, but if I'm gonna expect anything, I guess it's gonna be less censorship. Because when it first aired, Jesus,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when
I
I
it
can
was
watched
feel
the
the
aired, there
blood
was
from the
censorship.
shadow apart.
I watched the Blu-ray version, so yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
lucky
at least the
man.
censorship was never as bad as Pupa. Like I remembered watching
Well,
Pupa
that's
as
just
it
peak
was airing.
censorship.
That was a train. That was I don't know why I was on that ride. I don't know why I watched it. All I
I
remembered was
refuse to
seeing
watch
black.
censored anime. I'm just saying that right now. I
Dude, have you
refuse to
ever
watch that
watched like
hell.
6 minutes of just black?
Bro.
I
That wasn't
mean,
all black though. I think it was only
It was a lot
80,
of black.
90%.
It's a lot of
context.
black.
This is not okay. This is not racism, guys. This is about censorship in anime. I don't want anyone to like report this video because or podcast,
I'm
whatever.
pro inclusivity, okay? I'm not
Like
racist.
I have no problem with black people. I love Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant. Okay, I'm an NBA fan. I have black players all throughout this association, and I love them all because they all, they're all really good. They're all superstars. So, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
like I don't
anti-black.
know.
I
I'm
need
still
to put it
thinking.
out there.
Well, on the censorship thing. I mean, there's like Pupa. There's also like Mars of like
Destruction?
Terraform Mars.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's
I thought
also
you were
destruction. Destruction wasn't censorship. That's a whole different animal.
Yeah, it's
That's
just trash.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you censored it, it would probably be better because you won't have to look at it, right?
What are you talking about?
wait.
They
We're
don't
I
getting
mean,
even
I'm
off
get.
pretty sure
topic.
a black
We're
screen
trying
would be better than Mars of Destruction.
to.
Okay, back to topic.
Where are we? Yeah, yeah. So the censorship. Oh yeah, like what we expect to be different. Yeah, it's also what I read too. Like basically only the ending kind of changes. Like I've noticed a few like extra like I don't know visual shots that they added, but they're still using like CGI for like the background and like I don't know. It
And
wasn't
the
too bad,
animals.
but yeah, it just sort of I wish they took the time. I mean, they've had a lot of time. They could have maybe done something, but I don't know how hard it is from an animation point of view. It probably is hard, so I just give them the. I get what they did, but I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know, like some extra scenes or whatnot. Something.
Well, it
Then
is
again,
13 episodes of like, 50 minutes, so there are probably gonna
yeah,
be like a few.
yeah. But they did
Yeah,
add. I'm noticing like extra visual flair, but I'm not noticing any like big story changes. Oh well, I mean we're on the first episode, so we don't know yet. But like, yeah,
well, considering they're converting a 25 episode anime into a 13 episode anime with 50 minutes each, I'm expecting about 20 to 30 minutes of added content in total.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
definitely fair. Like the first episode was about 40 minutes at first, and like if you look at the length, it's 50 minutes. So they
Yes, it's
probably
big.
yeah,
added, yeah, they probably added in a few things that I probably failed to realize because I don't really remember much about it except for like the major plot points and the characters and all that. Because it's been like a really long time, and last time I watched it was like 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago. So yeah.
yeah. So
So,
where's
anybody,
the leave us?
wait, since you just finished watching the first episode, like literally a few minutes ago, Rio,
Yeah.
can you give us a recap of what happened?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so all right. So first episode of the definitive edition. So it begins as you'd expect. Regular isekai trope.
Not really. He
Freaking
didn't get hit by a
No, he
truck,
didn't get hit by
man.
a truck,
no, 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 no,
man.
no. But no. But regular isekai trope that he's freaking human trash. I mean, like
So
it
I was
starts out
first,
with him.
man. I was first.
No, but it starts with him being in freaking mini stop and like buying some, I don't know, like mini stop garbage, and then like just, I don't know, you got like the sounds and stuff, the zero sounds, that stuff,
Yeah, that's
and
actually pretty good.
yeah.
That surprised
Yeah,
me.
no, I do like it. I do actually
Yeah, the
like
sound
the sound
direction is
effects.
actually really good.
But anyway, this guy like gets transported into a freaking parallel world, and like you'd react the same way that most weeb trash would react, which is by exclaiming in excitement that he's in a parallel world. But then, like he quickly finds out that this is more than he bargained for, and it's actually not really worth the not really worth the shift, because like basically what is it, he goes into a freaking, he's broke because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't own anything. He doesn't know anything. Doesn't know the language and stuff like that. So like yeah, wandering around. Then goes to like some alley and then gets no, goes into some alley and then like gets smugged by like three people. And then it kind of I do agree that it was a little bit refreshing at the time. I was thinking like several years back how I was watching this in the context of all the other crap that I was seeing every day, and it was a bit nice to actually see a character that was suffering. Just because, like, I guess maybe even if I think that like the show isn't technically amazing, at least I think internally there was a part of me that wanted to see a show that took all the normal tropes of isekai and just like ripped into it. Because like how like someone gets transported into a parallel world, and they're always like immediately the main protagonist, and then the whole world revolves around them. So like I guess
Yeah, but
part of the reason my ReZero was appealing to people was that the whole world exactly didn't give a shit about Nazi Subaru. So
yeah, that
okay,
was actually funny
that's
when
yeah,
he
it was
tried
funny.
punching the thug,
Yeah,
and
that one.
when he pulled out his knife,
Yeah, yeah. I gotta give it that.
he
Gotta
just
give it
quit.
that.
Like,
That
bruh,
was that was a
he
great
went from a
quip.
living position
Yeah.
into a duquesa. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
okay.
lot
So
of the thing I love about this first episode is just the comedy, man. Oh my god, I remember laughing like a lot here. It was good for that. I'm gonna give ReZero episode 1 that it's funny. The chemistry
Yeah,
yeah.
between the
Anyway,
character is
yeah,
really
Felt and
shines
Subaru
through.
were really hilarious together.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
yeah. And like, okay, so gets mugged, and then what? Like, oh yeah, and then freaking
Felt,
like Felt comes along, yeah, and then the whole exchange, like you'd expect that Felt like do something about this, but nah, she just like, yeah, mind your own business, and then
I don't
fucks
know that
off.
guy. I gotta go.
I don't know that guy.
Then they just go back to mugging him.
Yeah, and then eventually Emilia comes along, and then the one funny thing is that like she actually was about to do the same thing Felt did, because like she didn't really give a shit about this guy, but like yeah, okay, then she does give a little bit of a shit, so she summons what, like ice whatever on the muggers, and
I
like
kind
kind
of,
of saves, yeah.
yeah, it mirrors the scene where they were looking for her insignia, and
Oh yeah,
they
the
noticed the little
insignia thing.
girl. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like Emilia. Cause even no, let's be serious. She has a goal, but she's not boneheaded enough to just leave people alone in pursuit of whatever she's going for. She's
yeah,
actually
man.
kind
Like,
enough
oh my
to
god,
quit.
yeah. Amelia's like a really nice person. Like, oh my
Oh
god,
yeah,
like
that's true.
But I
her.
do
What do
have
you call
one.
this?
Go ahead.
Um, like essentially just her nature is like, oh my gosh, she just doesn't want to take credit for like what she does, and I really respect that out of her because like I don't really like taking credit for nice things either, because I'm not
You
into
really
that.
shouldn't. You should just let other people acknowledge you for what you've done.
Like, it ain't my
Is
thing
this turning
personally.
into
So,
a Christian server?
oh my god. I mean,
Yeah,
we are.
we're really
We're all
feeling
technically
the Holy
Christian.
Week. Really feeling the Holy Week right now.
I mean, Jesus didn't go around telling everyone I died for your sins. That was his apostle. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Really, Jesus.
Well, are you implying that ReZero is like social commentary of Christianity as a whole? Oh my
No,
god.
no, 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 no. I'll get to that later. But let's
Emil is the
continue with the
embodiment
recap
of
first.
Jesus Christ.
I'll get to that later. I have a theory. It's a crackpot theory, but it is a theory. So yeah, back to the recap.
Where are we?
So
Oh.
Emilia came and saved him.
Yeah, okay. Emilia saved. And then, like, what else happened? Oh, right. And so, like, they talk with each other. Puck gets kind of introduced. What else? And then, like, I think, like, somehow, somewhere along the line, like, they do something with, like, the whole freaking insignia that Emilia was looking for. And Subaru was like, yeah, I don't know. But I, like, saw some little girl go this way. And then... So the funny thing though is like Emilia was about to just leave Subaru like there, like just
And she would
freaking
have eventually caught up with Felt if she didn't.
yeah
If
yeah
she
yeah.
didn't. If she didn't
Yeah,
wait
actually he
for
didn't
Subaru to
run
wake up.
after. He did collapse though. He collapsed and then was sleeping on Puck, who by the way was kind of unnerving in his giant like cat form. Like that freaked me out.
Oh
Like
my
Yeah,
geez,
god.
big fuck man.
rewatching it made me think, oh my god, like what kind of furry garbage is this? Like, imagine being somebody who gets transported into a parallel world, and then you see a giant cat human thing. Like it's cat on the outside, but it's got human body proportions. Wouldn't that freak you the fuck out?
Bruh. He's cute though when he's small.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just don't go.
I didn't know
Just
that
don't go
Puck was
big.
a guy though. Like at first, I actually thought that like he was like female or something. Then like whenever they referred to Puck as he, I was like, oh man, yeah, okay, that's
Lol.
that's that's a guy cat. Not to be like, I mean, we're all about inclusivity right now. It's just first impressions. I wasn't sure, but then it got cleared up, and then it's fine now. But anyway, moving on. Uh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, and then so Subaru's like, I'm gonna help you and do good deeds and shit.
Yeah, that was
Like, I
funny.
don't. Yeah, that was
Um,
funny.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Like
Oh my god.
Subaru trying to help her and just saying, "I'm only doing this just because I'm trying to do one good deed every day." When it's pretty obvious that he just wants that he just
Yeah,
likes her.
yeah,
It's a nice pretense, and it's funny too. And it's funny when she retorts, when
yeah.
she
Like,
tells him that you already did one good deed when you helped the little girl. So why are you even helping me still? So he comes back with, well, I'm trying to do my good deeds for the week. And she just answers him, so
well,
you're
here's
the
the thing.
type,
Like,
you're the
remember,
useless
this
type,
dude's
right?
like a loser. This dude's like a loser. He won't be able to like admit to like some pretty girl that I'm doing this because I like you. You think he got the balls to do that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like,
relatable. Not gonna
yeah,
lie,
yeah. I wouldn't
It's
mind what he's
weird.
doing.
It's
I
weird
can see
though, cause
myself
like
doing that.
it's weird though, cause like he is kind of a loser, but he manages to stay some in a weird way, somewhat physically fitter than any of the three of us. I mean,
Well,
you
he
imagine
did
yourself.
say he works out,
Nah,
man. He did say he works out.
nah. Bro, I could give that guy a run. No, no, no. He's got a 70-kilo grip strength or something. That dude.
Dude, speaking from the guy who like drinks like an insane amount of coke and like is probably diabetic, but we'll not get into that. We'll not get into
Yeah.
Is you
Zoe's
or me?
medical history. Yeah, it's both of us. We're both gonna die
Well,
soon. But
I'm
anyway,
like I'm very, very much a straight edge boy, Christian boy. I don't even drink soda.
Damn, we got CM Punk over here.
Yeah, we got. Oh man, look at this rebel here who doesn't drink anything. But anyway, all
H2O
right.
is
So
the best water. It's the best drink, man.
anyway, like okay, so like yeah, they go around town looking for Emilia's like insignia, and like in the process, they help the little girl who eventually turns out to be like Apple salesman's daughter. Oh yeah,
Wow.
but before that, there was that scene, right? There were like
If you're
Emilia
broke, get
tells
out.
Subaru that she's like a half elf. Also says that her name's like Stella,
Yeah,
right?
I had a problem with that, not gonna lie. Because
Which which
Uh,
which part?
the Satella part. Because
Oh, okay,
at the
got
end
it.
of the episode, she gets an. Well, she was enraged. Let's be honest here. When Subaru referred to him as referred to her as Satella.
I
So
mean,
why
we
would
kind of
you even
know
introduce
why.
yourself? No, I understand not giving out your name for privacy's sake. I mean, we're not using our names here, but why?
Eh,
Why would we use the name of someone we hate? I mean, think about it. And
yeah, yeah, that doesn't make any logical sense, really, because if you think about it, she's being called something that's kind of considered a slur in a way in like the community. So like, let's say like I'm what one like I'm part Chinese, and then someone just says okay, and I introduce myself to you guys as like I'm Ching. Yeah, like damn. So yeah, there
not,
are logic. Yeah,
no, it's
doesn't
not
make
that.
that much sense.
Not that. That's not the problem. Imagine. Okay, let's go with a Rocky reference. I'm assuming everyone here's seen Rocky, right?
Yeah.
So you know how
Eh,
just say yes. So you know how in
Yes.
Rocky 4, Ivan Drago killed what's his name again? Uh,
Apollo Creed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. Yeah, Creed. So let's say
I'm the one who didn't see it, and yet I know the name. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Okay.
I was thinking Cassius Clay, not gonna lie. So let's say Ivan killed Apollo Creed, and let's say okay, let's say Rocky get transported to Russia. He doesn't know anybody, and nobody knows about him. Would he introduce himself as Ivan Drago? I mean, that's my problem, right? Because I don't know who Satala is. I actually don't remember. So
It's it's
Should I
like
just
the
say it?
jealous witch. The jealous
she's the
witch.
one. I'm assuming she's the client of who's the girl again? Elsa?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
necessarily sure. She's the jealous witch, yeah. She's kind of really notorious as like a really. She's kind of the reason why elves are kind of,
Discriminated
really.
against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just had a problem with her referring to herself as Satala. But okay, go.
Yeah. And like alright, so she's like half elf. And like so
I mean,
that
we all
scene
know the reason why she refers to herself as Satala, right? It's to like get that drama going, right? Yeah, just so like we get that last episode of like Subaru realizing that oh shit, like I this really isn't the world that I've been in. I really am resetting. Like we
Oh
all
my
know
god,
that's
my wife who lied to me.
yeah, like that's the real purpose of it. Like we all know why. It's just that yeah, we can definitely see that there are logical inconsistencies with doing something such as that. But I can see the purpose, but I don't necessarily think it's the best way to go about
it
it.
could have been handled better. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, if you died several times, I think you'd kind of start noticing it. And
yeah, that's
I don't
another
know.
thing. He's kind of
I mean,
thick-headed.
Groundhog Day did it a lot better. I mean, guy noticed it from day two
Or like I
of
don't
the
know, would you
thing.
really necessarily need the saddle a bit? Like he could have just said like, "Hey, you, I've seen you before. Like you're
And
someone I
I've
know,
met him.
right?" And
Yeah.
then like Amelia would be like,
Who are you?
yeah, who are you?" Like
Who you?
spoiler
And that would have
alert.
this. Yeah, that would
Who's
have the same
Ram?
effect. Ooh.
Right? It's the same. Yeah, it's literally the same thing. So like, it doesn't really change the purpose. It just kind of makes it a bit
More
dumb,
dramatic.
or
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it just
yeah,
makes it
yeah.
more dramatic for no logical
I will
reason.
say though, like, all right. So like, again in that same scene, you also have like Emilia introducing that she's half elf, and like how like she was expecting that Subaru is like gonna like
It's
act
good.
in a way like, oh shit, you're half elf, and he just knowing our world's tropes, be like, oh, elves aren't they like beautiful and shit, and she's like, what the fuck, and then like curls up.
So,
I don't know. I just found it
yeah,
kind
that
of
was
cute,
cute.
I will say, and
Yeah, I
Puck
liked
just
it as
going out
well.
and punching. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like Amelia's reaction to that was excellent. Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
great. I loved it.
I mean, I mean, it works with her character because like it adds to the fact that she actually is an outcast in that world, and like
Yeah, I think she has like
she is in
really
the
low
same.
self-esteem as a character as well. I think she
Yeah,
just does the right thing as a person, but she herself knows her status. Like she thinks really lowly of herself because she's like, I'm an elf. I'm related to this jealous witch that seems to be the reason why our kind is hated on. So I can't really portray myself as this righteous person. So yeah,
But I
this is why I
still want
act
to
like
help
this.
other people. Yeah, that's why she's
yeah,
likable.
yeah. Anyway, so all right,
I,
so all that shit happens, and then consequently, I think you end up going to like the abandoned place where all the like thieves people hang out, but it's like getting dark now.
The slums.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But somehow I kind of
And,
remember it differently when I watch. I'm gonna have to check because like my
no, yeah,
memory
they
is
went to the
freaking.
slums, and some dude they
Yeah,
encountered
yeah,
in the
some dude
slums
is. Yeah, some dude.
told Subaru to go to Old Man Rom's place or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
old man Rom's
yes.
place. The
Then
yeah.
he goes
And so
in,
then
then
anyway,
bang, there he is, except he's dead.
Damn,
Lol.
yeah, yeah,
that was really good direction. When the only thing
yeah,
they showed on the screen was what the flashlight was pointing towards, so everything else was black. That was really good for. That was really good. It felt like um, it looked like. Nah, it was a very effective jump scare. If you
Yeah,
think
like
about
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I already knew that was gonna happen, and yet I still felt surprised. Like,
yeah,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it was a different feeling, like watching it, like when it was airing, because like you didn't know what the hell the show was about. So like in the first beginning part, you're like, oh, this is just some regular isekai trash, and then that was like I think the turning point for a lot of people, because like, oh shit, it's Groundhog Day kind of thing. They didn't
yeah.
expect the edge, and I guess that's what hooked a lot of people in the beginning, was that it suddenly like turned like that, you know. So,
Basically, all
yeah.
you need is kill.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, Edge of Tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
Edge of
I do
Tomorrow, Edge
like
of
Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That was great.
Love that movie.
The manga's great, and
Say what you
the
want about Tom
adaptation
Cruise,
is actually
he's a
great.
damn good movie star.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazingly enough, it's one of the few examples of an actually good adaptation. Like done in the way that you'd want an adaptation done. Like it knows that it's a movie and it knows that certain parts of the manga aren't gonna work as a movie. So it does what a movie should do and like make it so that it works for the like movie setting. Like imagine if they like used the freaking ball things that they had in the manga. Like that would look too silly on screen. So they turned them into like technical monsters, things, which look much better aesthetically.
Yeah, it was more
I haven't even seen the manga. I mean, I haven't read the manga. Like I've seen bits of the movie though from on HBO, of course. I
really
really
good.
Yeah,
should get around that.
you should get
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah, I should get.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
But
busy
anyway, so
finishing Danmachi, man.
Wait, you're still not finished with that?
The Sword Oratory. I'm at episode 7.
Oh, okay. So,
and so like anyway, everyone's dead. So Super's like dead, and like, well, he gets attacked and then like dies, and then wakes up to Apple Guy, who's like, "Yo, wanna buy my apples?" Actually, no. Yo, why aren't you buying my apples? And are you broke? And then, so he still doesn't seem to get the message that he just died. So like wanders around and
I
goes
just think
to,
it's a
instead of
dream.
like meeting up. Yeah, instead of meeting up with Emilia, he goes directly to like old man Rom's place, and then like ends up finding him, and he's actually like just some normal giant guy who like just runs that place, and like yeah, and then I don't know, they talk shop for a bit, and then he kind of starts to learn a little bit about the world that he's in. Yeah, and then after that, he just waits for Felt, who then comes along and like doesn't recognize him when he says, "Haven't you met me before?" or whatever. And then Felt and old guy talk and stuff, and it like gives the whole reason for why that insignia was stolen in the first place, which is that like Elsa Chan, whatever, like asked for like
So he's gonna
the
buy it for
insignia for
10
like,
holy coins, I think.
yeah, 10 holy coins. And then Subaru has like his phone, which he's gonna try to use to like,
Barter.
bargain for it. Barter for it, yeah, barter for it. And like,
20 holy coins.
yeah, I don't even, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of funny though, like, fish out of water situation, and you're trying to sell your freaking mobile phone.
I don't know how
It's,
much like it's not
actually,
even. Oh
it
my
does
god, I
date,
don't even
but
know
it
how
does
much it would
date
be
this.
worth honestly for like our standards. It's a flip
It
phone,
does
right?
date
How
this anime though, because like he's using like a flip phone, right? When
Yeah,
did this anime come out? Didn't we have smartphones by that time? Like,
2016? Yeah, we
yeah,
definitely did. But like we have to like
yeah,
I'll check the
love
light
novel.
novel. I'll check it first. ReZero light novel release.
yeah, it kind of dates it though. I mean, he was using a pretty old phone. I mean, I haven't seen those things. Like, that remind me of like Nokia days.
And he
And
doesn't even
those
have
things were
a.
in the
Can he
The
still get.
novel series started out in April 20th, 2012.
dude. We had mobile phones then. I mean, we
Okay,
had
Yeah,
smartphones.
here's
that
my
was the
head canon.
Galaxy S5 era or something.
Here's my head canon. Subaru is too broke to afford an actual smartphone. Okay? Like, let's think about it. This dude is a hikikomori. He lives off mini stop whatevers. He's got one kind of clothes. He's got one kind of look, which is a tracksuit and pants. He probably smells. Come on. Like, the dots connect themselves, man.
One thing about that barter thingy is how are you supposed to charge the phone? And like the
Yeah,
people
okay,
don't know how it. Oh wait, no, the people don't know how it works, right? So they're just gonna run it to the ground until it becomes low bat and it's not working anymore. You would think that they would just go up to him and kill him because hey, you sold me something defective. So I don't know how smart of an idea bartering your smartphone was.
You mean by
that,
smartphone? It was a mobile
Or a
phone, but
mobile
mobile
phone, but
phone.
okay.
flip phone,
But like
Jesus.
it is kind of
Well,
proven later on that like it doesn't need to be charged, right? Because like I remember with like one of the later arcs, like Subaru just uses his phone like all the time, and like it never gets drained.
I mean, I mean, I don't know, man. This is a freaking magical world. I mean, at least like
True, true,
Doctor
true.
Stone, like,
Hey, there are things called
created a
magicules,
smartphone.
right? Maybe these magicules thing in like the
You can
world are
convert
like
them into electricity.
hey, I'm trying to make sense of this, okay? It's what I do. I try to like think of some kind of internal logic that like the series is trying to portray me. And I guess it can make sense. I guess like within the bounds of this world. I mean, if you can believe a guy can just die, reset. I mean, you can really believe anything, right? It's not that strange to like have magic particles just charge your phone when like a guy is proven to just reset his own experience in time. Like legit.
Yeah, sure,
I
why not?
mean, in some way, I guess
Er, I-
electrons are kind of like magic particles that charge your phone.
Magicules.
Yeah, I mean, like
Magicules.
within the
I
bounds
mean,
of
if you
the
didn't know the
internal
science,
logic.
you'd probably think it was magic. I mean, in a way, any magic might actually just be like science that they don't understand yet. I mean, fuck, I don't know. I mean, there's
So you
some
guys
mysteries
just
in this
want to fast
universe. I mean,
forward the recap and just go to our thoughts?
No, let's
Oh,
finish
okay,
the recap.
sure.
That would be
I was
great.
about to talk about dark matter, but sure.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on, man. There's things like in this world that we still don't know. Like physics still doesn't know, and
Sure,
so
sure,
and
sure.
it could well be magic for all we know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
but
I can,
anyway, thoughts.
so who's gonna start?
Let's start from the guy who hates it the most to the guy who likes it the most. So we'll start with Zoe, then
Sure.
then we go with Rio.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll close it.
Oh, it's not then I, it's then me. Sorry. So yeah, you take it away, my boy.
Well, I liked the first arc when it was airing, so I'm gonna have to say that I liked this first episode. There were some things that didn't really make any sense to me. Like I said, the Satella name, the flip phone, I didn't get that. But I like the comedic interactions with Subaru and Emilia, Subaru and Felt, Subaru and Magaram. This dude is a big, buff gorilla, or as I could say. Uh,
It's okay to
I,
come out, guy. It's okay. I'm
and
here for you.
it was also hard to believe that. Well, it just so happened that Elsa was carrying 20 holy coins as well when his flip phone was appraised to be at least 20 silver 20 holy
Holy
coin,
coins.
holy coins. There it is. I think it's a bit of a contrivance, not gonna lie, that oh man, my opponent my opponent who started the bid at 10 holy coins just so happened to bring 20 exactly. So what do you think about that? I don't know. Some of the death scenes were, I guess, inventive is one way to put it. Like Emilia just dropping dead after she enters the room. Because, most of the time in normal anime, there'd be like, a 2 3 minute fight scene between Emilia and the assassin before she falls down. Here she just enters the room, uh, tries searching for Subaru, gets stabbed, falls down. So, bit of a surprise if that was my first time watching. And I did like some of the shots. The fish eye shot at the beginning, that was that was nice. Okay, that was crisp. What else? I think that's it for now. I'll just jump in when I think of something.
Okay, so I'm the neutral watcher of this. So I also like the episode in general, mostly for the, comedic interaction and chemistry between the two main characters. Because, spoiler alert, I'm kind of a sucker for two characters just being really, really good at interacting with one another. It's why I like the Monogatari series, okay? So, yeah, in general, I didn't really notice anything that I particularly thought was stupid in this episode, which is kind of rare because I'm kind of a stickler for most dumb shit. But in general, I think this was a solid introduction to the entire world, and like yeah, I can kind of understand Subaru just like failing to grasp the brevity of the fact that or no of the gravity of the fact that he's actually reincarnating because I played the Steins Gate visual novel and like Okabe just he doesn't immediately get it at first. Though to be fair, it's hard for me to say because it would really depend on the mechanics of his return from death. Because when in Steins Gate, when Okabe transports back from the past, he technically doesn't transport his conscience. It's mostly his memories. So it can kind of make sense that he sometimes feels those things are deja vu. With Subarus though, like at least as an anime only at this point, like we don't necessarily know the mechanics of how his return from death works. So it kind of gets a bit murky, but I'm willing to forgive that as a first episode, just as an introduction. Yeah.
Wait, question on that mechanic.
Yeah.
Can we agree, at least for this first episode, that his respawn time should be less than 12 hours or at max 12 hours? Because like after he dies, he just just returns to the beginning of the day, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
so
he
can
From
I
like
returns
take
the
that?
apple guy.
And that happened twice. So can I take that as proof? Like for like proof that whenever he dies, the mechanic is he'll he'll turn back time, well, at least less than 12 hours. Because okay, let's do the math here. Puck is a lot. Puck can maintain his spirit form, as he said, from 9 to 5, right? He
Yeah.
said that.
Or
yeah,
actually, no, he can maintain it. Yeah, yeah.
So that's three.
that's
That's
eight
8 hours.
hours.
8 hours. Yeah, 3 to 12, 12 to 5. Okay. So when he gets teleported to the apple guy, the sun's up. So normally, when the sun's up, that's around 7 o'clock, right?
So 7 or like, yeah, 7,
So we have 8 hours
8.
plus two
Yeah.
hours. So how many hours do you think after Puck goes back to spirit form and after from the time goes back to spirit form from the time Puck goes back to his rock form to the time Super dies, that should be. I mean, that's not more than 14 hours, right? So it can't have been 24 hours. So I'm thinking around 2 to 4 hours. So my hunch is when he returns back time, he goes back to 10 to 14 hours in the past. Is that gonna stay consistent though? That's my question.
Well,
That's
here's
gonna
the
be my
thing. Like
big
we
problem.
know that like he can resurrect, but the thing is like we don't necessarily know how he resurrects. Like we don't necessarily know like the mechanic in which he can we call it time leap? I'm a Steins Gate fan, so I just want to call it
Sure.
time leap. Okay. So
Yeah,
when he
sure.
time leaps, uh we don't know like what exactly is happening. For example, in Steins Gate, it's clearly established from the first time leap that what happens is Okabet transports like a fraction of his memories back in time. So like we know that. With Subaru, what happens? Is it his conscience? Does he like I don't know jump through I don't know parallel worlds or something? Is it like
Yeah,
that type of thing? Like
that
It's
hasn't
never
really
really established.
explained.
yeah,
And
so
that's what
like
I'm trying to grasp at.
I'm willing to give it like at least like time to explain its whatever mechanics first. I'm not gonna like you know um judge that portion just yet. I'll just we'll just wait and see. But like I can see that as a credible theory. But like I'll just like reserve judgment on what it actually does first.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. Although it is nice to see a
Like
well
we can
established.
like yeah we can definitely like agree on like probably the duration, maybe the duration like who
Yeah.
knows maybe unknowingly like there's like a trigger to like his save point, maybe there's a reason why his save point changes, maybe that was like maybe it's triggered through his I don't know emotions or like his state of mind like
But I don't
we're
know.
not
It's like
yeah
it's kind of like you have to balance the line between not explaining things to your audience and not explaining things to your audience. Like there's a fine line between mystery and bullshit. Like I mean, I get what you mean. Like you're reserving judgment since it is part of the mystery of the series. But it is also pretty shit if like a show doesn't have a coherent internal logic to explain the things that happen in its universe. Like you can have logic, but you can still have mystery. the mystery has logic.
It is still just the first episode, though. Like,
Yeah, okay.
obviously,
I mean, I get
like,
that.
Yeah, I'll concede to
I'm
that
not
part.
judging it for the first episode, but like in general, like there has to be a method to the madness. You can't just have madness.
yeah, I can
Like,
definitely see that. I can definitely see that. Obviously, like, if it continues to like do this kind of thing, obviously, we're just gonna end up, hating, criticizing, whatever. But like, for a first episode, like, I'm fine with them not necessarily like just laying the groundwork because like
Yeah, of
apparently
course,
like
of course, of course.
yeah,
because like I've already like seen like a bit because like I'm kind of a guy who likes just Google searching a lot. Lol. So like from what I know, like the way Subaru time leaps, it's gonna be like a central theme in like the next season, I think. Like they're at least gonna like start trending towards the explanation of that, like why he's got the witch set, like why he can't reveal his abilities. Like we're not gonna get a full explanation, but according to like the threads and forums that I've read, it's gonna trend towards that kind of direction. So it's gonna be interesting.
Well, they better do that.
I mean, that's one of the questions that we've had since like season one. Like, or no, yeah, it's one of the questions. Like, I remember watching this when it was coming out, and basically, it remained unanswered through all of the episodes. Like, it just was something happening, but we didn't know shit about how the frick his like go back in time ability worked.
Well, I think for like the first couple of episodes or so, like it was kind of Subaru learning how he could properly utilize his abilities. So like that's why they didn't necessarily like explain it.
Explain it,
They,
yeah.
yeah, they were kind of just showing, okay, so I have this power to like return from death or whatever. How will I be able to use it to my advantage? So that's like kind of how the first couple of episodes pan out. So
Yeah.
like I'll just give it that for not being able to explain it. I mean, if season 2 is able to do a decent job, I mean, it'll be
They
fine.
better.
But if it
They
doesn't,
better.
yeah, I mean, obviously if it doesn't, like, yeah, I mean, we'll start to question the motives of something such as this. But I mean, for a first season, for being able to just at least give us a
Yeah,
glimpse of how it works, yeah, I can like respect that at the very least.
yeah. Is it my turn to like finish the
Yeah,
thoughts?
you're the fan. You're
Yeah.
the fan.
Yeah, I
I
was the
think.
fan. I am still kind of a fan, but like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, coming into this, and like, I remember watching it while it was going out, and like, I enjoyed it at least for the most part. Although I will say that this isn't normally the kind of stuff I like watching because like I'm more of a sci-fi fan and like a big Ghost in the Shell fan in general. Like I'm just
Yeah,
no, but I
my
like
guy.
sci-fi. Like, no, but
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
I
I
think I'm
like
the only
sci-fi.
one who
So
hasn't seen Sack yet, right? I'm the only one who hasn't
dude, you
seen
gotta see
Sack.
Sack. You gotta see
I've
Sack.
only seen
But
the
anyway,
original
moving on.
movie.
Wait, when's 2049 airing actually? Because that's on
It's
Netflix,
coming
right?
out soon. It's coming out soon. From what I've heard,
Wow, I'm
like
excited for
it's
that.
kind of this is the year of the cyberpunk, which is kind of fitting considering there's a global pandemic going on. I mean, we've
It's
got
the year of
Cyberpunk
the sequels,
2077.
man. I think. I don't know. I'm kind of
Yeah,
disappointed that
sequels
Origairu
in anime,
S3
sequels
getting
in
getting
movies,
delayed.
dude. We even have
Bro,
sequels in SARS, man. This is SARS 2.
Ava
Do bear in mind that the
4.0.
name of this, dude. That's all the sequels now.
Bro, Ava 4.0 is the only thing I'm waiting for this year.
3.0 plus 1.0, and
Oh,
I'm willing.
Imagine
shut
if
up, shut up.
No, no,
dude,
it's gonna
imagine
be a
if
death and rebirth type thing, man. You already know.
Dude,
Yeah,
I can
most
3.0
already.
is gonna
likely.
come out while everyone's dead, and it's exactly what Hideaki Anno wanted. Like everyone in Japan's like in that scene where like everyone's joining in the freaking instrumentality project, and that's when he releases 3.0. After everyone's dead from like COVID-19 or whatever.
Called being a visionary, I guess.
But yeah, okay. So wait, we're losing track of my thoughts. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
did enjoy the first episode. I will say that like I was drawn in by the whole like return to death sequence. Like it was done well, I have to admit. Like in the
Yeah,
beginning I wasn't really interested, But like when it started doing that, I was like, oh, this show has something different about it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like check it out and maybe watch more, because like I was watching it as it was airing. So like, I in retrospect, like as I watch back, I do agree with some of the criticisms regarding some of the other aspects, like like sort of small details. But like in general, I'd have to say like my enjoyment was pretty good, especially with the character interactions in the beginning, and like the way the comedy was handled and the way it tried to introduce certain things. But we'll see how as it goes on, like how that may change or how the show itself might change. But like as a first episode, this was a pretty strong start, and I can see
Yeah.
why it got popular in its time. It kind of still remains popular. Yeah. Any closing remarks?
I'm actually really excited for the next episode, not gonna lie. I didn't watch it just so, I can talk about it without knowing what's next. But I really want to watch it after this thing's done.
Oh man,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, yeah, that cliffhanger was kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I really do think that most of my problems in ReZero, because like even the first episode, as we know, like it has some flaws in its internal logic, but they're not necessarily anything big
That can
that
break the series.
that can necessarily break the series. But most of my problems personally, they kind of persist towards the later arc. So I'm actually also really excited for the next episode. It I think I think the first arc, it really is my favorite, and I'm happy and I'm kind of glad that it's getting some love from you guys as well.
Yeah, I think of myself
Oh,
as pretty fair, not gonna lie.
I have no idea what I think about myself.
This is why you're here. We're trying to figure out who you are, man. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a spiritual.
I didn't know I was joining a cult.
It's not a cult. This is Christianity. Okay.
That's what I mean. All right, shit. I think we're going off topic. So should this be like the end?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay,
think so too.
so thanks for listening to this thing, I guess. So our next episode is probably just gonna be episode 2. And I believe as
Yeah,
soon as we finish the director's cut, like we're just gonna like just talk within ourselves what we're probably gonna do next. I kinda suggested to do something like Danmachi or Origairu, just some shows that I watched recently, but like we're still gonna think about it, and thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Craig.